only 5% of people ever achieve their goals. And 5% sounds like very little. With a population of 8 billion, that's 400 million people that are the only people that achieve their goals. In terms of that 400 million, it's really a massive amount. It's not really that insignificant. Yes, there are 7.6 billion other people not achieving their goals, but really it comes down to a few steps and a few things that will distinguish you. But the real question is, where do you lie? Do you lie in the 400 million people that get things done, or the 7.6 billion? Jeez, that's even off topic. 7.6 billion people don't get things done. As 7.6 billion people don't get things done. Just think about that for a second. I mean, sure, they are able to get things done, but if we put it in the sense of achieving their actual goals, right? It's insane, and this is just goal achievement, right? For New Year's resolutions, it's a lower percentage of people that actually achieve them and actually stick out all the way to the end. And yeah, I mean, it's clearly not New Year's Eve. It's clearly not some kind of I don't know. It's clearly not some kind of geographic location thing, because stats show that it's equal to throughout. So yeah, how do we move with trying to achieve something when we know that so many people fail? I think if you're already part of the 400 million people that actually achieve what they say they're going to do, that alone should be inspiring. That you get to be one of these amazing people that are set apart from everyone else just by doing what they say they're going to do. Unfortunately, there are other things that play a role. In my point of view, there's a lot of distractions in the world, a lot of things that sort of drive our mindset towards pleasure instead of taking action, instead of putting in the work and trying to achieve something good. And all in all, just the final thing is just people don't do anything. I didn't do anything for years. I mean, I thought I did. I thought I was doing things that I wanted to do. But on the path to get to where I'm at now, I had to stop, I had to learn. I had to go from hating gym. I was whining about curling like 1.5 kgs. It was a bar that had like, it was like 3 kgs. It was 3 kg bar, the lowest possible bar. And I was whining about trying to curl this thing. And it took time. I had to stop and start so many times just to finally get to the point where I said, okay, no more. I'm going to get in and get this done. And that transformation and mindset doesn't have to take you 90 attempts, like a 3-year period of starting and stopping and starting and stopping. You really just have to decide then and there and really cultivate the environment around you and focus on several factors, right? So for me, the big emphasis and energy, it has to come from you. When it comes from you, then you are responsible for getting it over the line. And when that comes from you, you alone hold all of that achievement. You answer to no one but yourself, and you really achieve all the benefits. But the only thing is, it comes from you. You have to drive it. You have to take responsibility for getting it over the line. So yeah, one thing, it has to come from you. The second thing I think would be the people you keep around you, right? Naturally, as a person, when I'm trying to make a positive difference and I'm seeing progress, I want to help people. So I try and get as many people as I can, whether it's friends that I went to school with, people that share the same sort of interest and drive to achieve something. If they say they want to do it, just poke and prod at them to get them to join you. Everything is better when it's shared, whether it's a meal, a movie, or a workout. It's an experience that is worth twice the value if you go and share it with someone. So yeah, I mean, in terms of just the productivity alone, focus on yourself, get people to come with you, create the environment. It should be zero resistance to getting it done. You should just slide into what you need to do, whether that's preparing the environment around you, so like a desk, if it's the gym, having a gym membership and it's set up so that you can just get in and do what you need to do that. Even if you have to structure your routine so that if you know everyone is training legs on Monday, train legs on a different day so that you can get in smoothly, get to the machine you want to do, and get it done. The other thing is you need to limit how much influence you get from other people. I know this is a bit contradictory because I'm putting this video out to help someone, and as a whole it is influencing. But in terms of making use of content and lessons learned, things like journaling and stuff is all well and good, but you need to take action that is relevant to you. You need to let thoughts digest and let your mind figure out how you would tackle that kind of problem, because there is a unique way in which everyone will produce something. There's a difference between everyone's YouTube channels. There's a difference between the way in which people present videos and so on. Yes, there's similarities because people adopt things that work, but it comes down to how, there's a uniqueness to each individual, and when you pick up a task, the uniqueness of that task, the uniqueness of the end product comes from that individual. So your journey on starting a gym membership or starting a gym transformation, picking up a creative outlet, let's say you're starting painting or starting digital art or starting some kind of creative business or some kind of creative routine in your life. Getting started really it needs a few factors. It needs all the things I mentioned before. It needs to come from you. It needs to have a good environment. You need to try and create some kind of shared journey if you can. Find someone who's there around you, who's going to keep you accountable. All of these things will help you. But when you pick up that creative task, essentially when you want to channel your drive into a hobby or a task, you want to slide into it easily. You want to really make a difference with it, and your uniqueness has to come through it. Your uniqueness, all of these things are just channels to really let out your unique flow, whether it's art, whether it doesn't matter. It can even be sport. Your uniqueness will come through it. Sport, easily you can look at a player like Haaland, who's super unique in the way he acts, super unique in the way he does the things he does. It's what makes him Haaland. It's his brand, it's who he is. So when you're looking at trying to achieve something and trying to be one of these 400 million people that really get what they want, you need to make a big effort on your end to get it done. You need to make a promise with yourself that you will get it done. And regardless of anything that may come to deter you from that path, maybe you have a friend that keeps you accountable. Maybe you have family that will keep you accountable. There's a bunch of other mindset things that will come in the way, where maybe you'll be met with resistance, you'll be met with judgment, you'll be met with people giving their opinion on what may end up deterring you from doing what you're trying to do. These things are natural. Everyone is going to essentially test you, try and push you back into the bubble that you were in before. And that's fine. You should look at that and you should smile. You should say, right, I'm going to do it despite this. I'm going to do this because even though these people are saying these things to me, it's not about them, it's about me. And I'm going to make it through despite that. And what you'll find is when you do that, when you just get it done either way because you said so, regardless of what everyone else said, you will find those same people will come back to you. And they will be trying to learn exactly what you have done. They will come and ask you, oh, I heard, but if they've already had the conversation, it may have been, oh, I heard you're trying this. Why are you doing this? It's dangerous, etc. That could be a conversation you have. And then it goes from that to, I actually tried this and it felt good, I want to do it more. So these are the transformations and interactions you can have in and around you when you start something new. There's always going to be resistance at the beginning. You need to prepare yourself for this. You need to stop yourself from talking yourself out of doing what you need to do. You need to really just be the number one supporter of yourself. Yes, you may be met with resistance, but you also may be met with support. And a big part of that as well that I struggled with was receiving support. Because sometimes it looks like support. Sometimes someone will say something and it looks like support, but if you're not ready to receive it, you misinterpret it as like judgy behavior, or you misinterpret it as them trying to push you back or whatever. The point is, there's a lot that can come from misinterpreting what other people say. And maybe someone says something in an off way that comes across that way, but secretly they are supportive. Secretly maybe not even secretly, maybe they are just supportive and we're just misinterpreting it. There's also a lot of people that won't speak. There's a lot of people that will just watch silently. And whether it's out of envy or out of essentially inspiration, but you're kind of halting them because you're doing what they wish they could do, and you're evidence to what they're not doing. That as well can happen, and people need time to process what they're going through. And if you're openly expecting everyone to just come and help you on this journey, it's never going to be the case. It may take a year before you only hear that, like, okay, this person was feeling this, right? You may never hear that this person was feeling that emotion. It's all good. It's all part of the process. You really just need to bring it back to yourself and focus on it. Now, there's a few other habits that you can do that help and assist with any of these other habits that you're looking to take on. The biggest one being meditation. Whether you start off by throwing yourself into a retreat, which I wouldn't do, I think you would just pick up an app and sit and just go through some kind of guided meditation at first. That's one way you can do it. That's the first way I started meditating. I've done silent, just by myself meditating, and that's been good. But the most powerful meditation that I've been doing recently has been a back to the breath meditation. Now, back to the breath meditation is very interesting in that your mind will slowly start pulling events and bits of information that's been sitting there in this like infinite space, and it will pull that experience and bring it to your mind, and you will have to in that moment kind of deal with the issue, and that can be dealt with by trying to erratically focus on something else, trying to think about something else, or if you are still with it, it will slowly play out in your head. Now back to the breath, back to the breath meditation. When you are listening to yourself in that way, you want to essentially realize that in that moment you are being brought into this scenario, this experience again, and you want to essentially just bring yourself back to the breath, bring yourself to a clear spot where you can sit and just focus on your focus on your breath again until this happens again. It's not a bad thing that you've been brought to this place of focusing on something that's happened, or even if it is just, oh, I forgot to turn this off, I forgot to put the sprinkler on or whatever. These things may come up. Just bring yourself back to the breath. It will slowly fade away and you will remember it when you need to. We're conditioned to think that in this infinite space, as soon as the idea comes back, we need to grab onto it because we may forget it, and stop what we're doing so that we can latch onto that little idea that comes up. And it's completely wrong. If you can just calm yourself, bring yourself back to the breath, let go of it, you'll realize that all of these little problems are little problems. Like, they're very, very little. They mean very, very little in the long run. And when you bring it back to the breath, where our breath is our life force, it's us renewing life every time we breathe. When we focus on that, we realize we're putting more importance on the breath than we are with the issues at hand. And slowly you reframe everything in your mind to understand that your survival, your simple breath, is far more important than anything that is going on, and holding on to any other behaviors that you had in the past. This is a very, very powerful method. If you do 5 minutes where you simply just allow yourself to get distracted, bring yourself back, even if you're distracted for 10 of those minutes, and you bring yourself back one time, and then the next 5 minutes you go and you're distracted for 3 of those, you bring yourself back, then another 2 minutes and you bring yourself back. Those 3 times are essentially 3 reps in which you've gone from being distracted to bringing yourself back to focus. Being distracted, bringing yourself back to focus. And that will cultivate a very, very, very strong focus within you. I've spoken a lot on meditation. I think it's a very powerful metric, a very powerful method to bring focus into your life, to bring productivity into your life, to actually get used to doing what you're going to say. Personally, meditation was the first thing that I started. It was a 30-day challenge that I did. It was the first essentially self-improvement habit that I picked up. And after achieving 30 days, I knew that that was going to be just the number one thing that I had to keep on going. But with everything, there were twists and turns in the journey. I did do a silent retreat as well that reignited it for me. And coming back to just regular day-to-day stuff, being on my phone, all of these other things came in the way. And it's very hard to find that same state that you were in when you're in this silent retreat. There's ridiculous amounts of focus there. We're doing almost 8 hours of meditation a day. You're not consuming any information in terms of like your phone, books, anything. You're not exercising. You're walking around, so yeah, there's light exercise, but you're not gymming, you're not doing any of these things to deter you from the path. And what we found in that journey was there was just a lot of there was just a lot of like past stuff that came up. So I know I'm speaking too much on meditation now, but definitely, if you have not already, get yourself to try meditation, and do it as a simple thing. All you're doing is bringing yourself back to focus. Now, other habits to get yourself to be more productive, to do what you say you're going to do, a very hard one, but a very, very useful one is cold showers. I took one this morning. It was completely different. It's doing something that you feel you shouldn't do, that you essentially conditioned that you shouldn't do, but you're doing it anyway. You're conditioning yourself to essentially do the action even when you don't feel like it. And the thing is, no one ever feels like they want to take a cold shower, especially in the morning. As soon as you wake up, no one ever wants to do that. But if you can build that habit first of getting in, taking the cold shower, and moving on, you'll find that over the days you'll build momentum. As with every habit, you will slowly pick on more and more tasks throughout the day, and you'll have this drive that will carry on through and help you do all the things you need to do. But as for the cold showers themselves, they are amazing at building discipline. So yeah, before I get pulled into other habits, just to wrap up, I think, 95% of people don't achieve any of their goals. It doesn't come down to writing it down. That is one of the other stats. Is I think it's like 70% of people, or 70% of goal. No, it must have been like 90% of goals that aren't written down aren't achieved. And then when it's written down, then there's like a higher percentage chance that you will achieve it. But don't even waste the paper. Like, if you want to achieve something, you are achieving it by doing the thing, not by talking about it, not by writing it down, by getting in and doing the thing. If you need help with doing that, there's going to be like a link in the description, and we'll chat about, you can join in, book some time, and we'll chat about how your journey is going. If you feel like you keep reaching like sticking points, then we can talk and discuss it. But I need some water. But stay hydrated. Have a good day.